Hello everyone, my name is the Fox. This is the GPD XD. This is GPD's Android clamshell handheld, so it's 3DS style. Man, this thing is a fingerprint magnet and just dust magnet. Very quickly, you can see it says 32 gigabytes, so this is the lowest model that they have available right now. This is the box that it comes in, a cute little box. You can see it says gunmetal, 32 gigabytes. And here you can see that it's easy for them to just see, so it's check marked off. They would check there. I think right here would be a good spot for the capacity sticker. This little flap is nice. It has little magnets on the inside. You can see right here, and then there's additional little magnets here so that when you close it up, it kind of goes flat. The only reason it's poking out right now is because of this protective cover. There's the inside. Here you would have your micro USB charger. This is not it's not USB-C, so it's only micro USB. It comes with a charger and a micro USB cable. GPD goes right there. Let's go ahead and put the cover back on. Close this up. When you smile, the world loves him. When you laugh, the world fears him. Not really too certain what that is supposed to indicate. Here is the only instruction manual that comes in it, so it's pretty bare bones. Qualified. Cool. So let's take a look at the GPD XD itself. It is a fingerprint magnet. This it is cool looking, but because we have these lights on there, you can see that LED light. Whom. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the port action we got here. So right here you can see is micro USB. It wants to be like that, so that's how we'll read it. Here's your SD card, R2, R1, L2, L1. Headset jack, this is 3.5mm. Here's your, this is mini or micro HDMI. This is mini HDMI. So my thumb is covering it, apologies. This is mini HDMI. Micro is quite a bit smaller. So we'll go ahead and open it up. And you can see you get this little GPD splash screen. Take a look at the buttons real quick. This is not a button here, it's just a little kind of placard. Power, volume minus, volume plus. Here is L3 and R3. They're actually buttons. They don't push in on the analog sticks. I mean, a lot of this stuff is known already, but you know, for a complete review, we should really do this. The D-pad's pretty good. Start, select, back, home, and then you have your news buttons, which is X, Y, A, B, or B, A, Y, X for Nintendo consoles. This is a Dreamcast 360 layout. And then the analog sticks, which everyone with the GPD Win should be familiar with. Let's go ahead and push the power button over here. So I'm going to be reviewing the GPD XD as it comes to people, and I think it's important to touch base on it just because it's kind of impressive from the point of view that, man, this thing's dirty. Apologies. So this particular app, which it just says playable, is interesting because it seems like they're Flash games, but they're like Chinese Flash games. Let's go ahead and increase the volume all the way just so you can hear this. And I find these games to be pretty cool. I'm actually liking them, but the loading time takes forever. Load. I guess I'll pause this until this loads. Alright, there we are. So, abandoned. The computers automatically revived me. Alrighty, so you can kind of see him like moseying around. Let's bring this in a little bit closer. Curses. My white shirt is. Okay, so. And just like that, it was over. So I died. Grappling crates from below will allow you to car. Aha. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so. Okay, and then up. Plays around. So, pretty straightforward. Hey, you can see my face. How's everything, guys? So we'll go ahead and do this, and we will throw this down. Hooray! So the objective here will be go this way, and we'll go that way, and then up, and then down. Sorry if I'm not perfectly on this, guys. I'm trying to pay attention to play the game. So, yeah. Cool beans. This game is pretty cool, so we'll go ahead and press the home button, which is what will bring you back. So this particular app is pretty interesting. I'm not really 100% certain on what it is. It almost feels like Newgrounds, like a Chinese Newgrounds, which is cool by itself. I played some weird Arkanoid game that was kind of janky, but this Abandoned game is actually pretty cool. So that's pretty interesting in and of itself. So it has this app where you can play games almost immediately. Then there's also Happy Chick, which a lot of people I heard about talking about, but I have not been able to actually do anything useful with it. So if we just go to the little play tab here, these are games that I downloaded, and one of the things that is good about Happy Chick is that it's a means to get ROMs, but if I try to play it here, it essentially crashes. So I've never had it not crash. However, because you can download ROMs in there, I have the pro version of ES File Explorer, which is hilarious in itself. So if you go to Xiaoji, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. You go to ROMs, there you can see the, so there is the ROM that I downloaded. That's Super Mario 64. So it's interesting for a lot of reasons. And I say that because there are many methods to have emulators running on an Android handheld. And there's a few things that GPD did. So number one, they have this little gamepad button right here, which when we press it, you'll see this whole interface. You can kind of move things around. So you can go to woo, and then that right button will indicate for this D-pad. So it's easy enough to play Android games on here and have them work via the gamepad buttons. So that's one layer that GPD did. Additionally, the other layer that they did was, if we bring it up here, Metro. It says right there, Metro. This Metro app that they made, which is basically an Android launcher, but it's very specific to the GPD XD itself. And why I think it's important to review this just straight out of the box is because it's an interesting... I take ROMs and emulators for granted, and I normally assume that everyone knows how to get ROMs and what to do with them and BIOSes and how to set up emulators, and many times they don't. So this is interesting in that it's trying to lower the barrier of getting emulators and ROMs to people in a method that is kind of self-serving, where they can just kind of do it themselves. So this is the other thing that's kind of like Happy Chick. There are some weird things here, like you'll see this Mario button, and it is not indicative of the quality that you should expect. So like here you'll see this is Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. You're like, oh cool, dolphin. It's gonna be a dolphin thing, and then nope, it's actually a Game Boy Advance game. So there's like things like that there'll be artwork that doesn't really apply to the game. But it does have, this is the Final Burn Alpha, the emulator Final Burn Alpha. But we're downloading essentially an arcade ROM that'll run on the arcade emulator Final Burn Alpha. And it works perfect. This is a good indicator where I can kind of show off the quality of the D-pad and some other stuff. And just how, what's funny is, I always used to put insert coin as select on all of my emulators, so it's kind of fun to see that works kind of universally. Because I didn't set anything. All of this just works right out of the box. You don't do anything, just open up the app, get what you want, and start playing. So there is value into... there is value in just like... Whoa, Christmas. But like, whoa. Being able to quickly... like here, I'll just like very oh son of a man, he's knuckling my head. I'm just gonna like kind of demo the D-pad here. I'm not trying to win. So the D-pad is actually super. I wouldn't say super good, but it is passable. Sorry, I'm like looking through my phone's D-pad here. My phone's display. Additionally, you can also do like the super. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Come on. Stop calling me a liar. I was doing this like crazy. Alright. Alright, hopefully I can pull this off with Ryu. Oh boy. There we go. Finally. Yes, boys. So, plays perfectly. The display is really, really nice. Look at those colors. Super nice. Frame rate is great. Let's go ahead and we'll exit out of this. And when we press the back button, we're still inside of the app. So back basically just tells this KO box thing that we want to obviously close out. We can go to Mega Man Powered, which well, the B is back button. Mega Man Powered Up is a weird PSP game that I didn't know existed. It might be a Japanese only game. I don't know if there's actually a translation of this available. But it's a very cutesy take on Mega Man 1 and potentially Mega Man 2. So it's definitely very, very cool. Now, so one of the things that I want to touch base on, now you can see that it says 80% battery. I started this yesterday at 100%. So let's go to advanced settings. And then you can see it's kind of just very Android-like here. But we should have the battery meter. There we go. So here, it's in like, oh my god, look how, whoa, sorry. Did I mess up? Okay, good, we're fine. Right at the very tip, you can kind of see it being at 100%. And then, so right now we're at 1 day, 3 hours, and 27 minutes. The really awesome thing is because of, well, Android as it works, but the standby time of just closing the lid turns off the display and pauses the game, as you would expect it to. So I had that FBA, I had that X-Men arcade game, X-Men Street Fighter arcade game, in standby. So I've used maybe 15% while that was in memory on the GPD XD. And when I opened it up, it loaded right back into it. We can show that to you real quick, but very quickly I want to show you one of the things that is worth noting about the GPD XD is that this is Android 4.4.4. Again, this review is just the complete out-of-the-box experience. So there might be ROMs and stuff that have later versions of Android, but this might be a negative for the XD insofar as games, official Android games, losing support. And what I can talk to you about real quick is Mage Gauntlet. And I'll show you how I got this, which is also crazy in and of itself. Let's not have that crash. We'll cancel that. The Google Play Store does exist here. So we'll go to story mode and we'll click here and click there. All right, so now, yep. All right, let's go here. We're gonna go to options and we're gonna click on D-pad. All right, so now you can see, now if we click the gamepad button right here, you can see that we can move this over a little bit. All right, and we have B and A right here. So more or less, we're pretty good. And you can make this little circle bigger or smaller just by clicking bigger. So we'll try to center that. And then you just click Save Hide. And then it works as you would expect it to. So really, really cool to be able to play this Android game as you would expect to, without really having to have gamepad support built into the Android game itself. The other neat thing about this game is actually really cool, Mage Gauntlet. The other real neat thing about this is that the GPD XD can advertise itself as a few different gamepads. So in here you can see that it's actually advertising itself as a 360 Xbox joystick. You can do PS3 or you can do null joystick, which I guess would mean it's not a joystick at all. Not too sure why you'd want to do that, but the option is there. I'm not too certain why you need PS3 specifically. Maybe there is some type of Android app for PlayStation streaming, in which case that does have value. Right, so Mage Gauntlet is there, and if we go over, you can see the Play Store. If I click on Play Store, I haven't put in an account yet. So how did I get Mage Gauntlet? Well, how did I get a lot of things like Drastic and stuff? So there is also this application that is installed on the GPD XD. And this is interesting in itself that I downloaded this. This is a pay-for app, and you just go on this application, Aptoide, and there are user-submitted APKs that are potentially cracked already that you can just go ahead and download. So the whole thing is kind of insane to me that there is a very nice browser you have multiple nice browsers from this to just kind of download whatever you want. Look at this Call of Duty. It's insane. So there are people that have uploaded versions of it. You can see latest version that it says right there, and it says install. And then there's people that have commented on the application that got installed itself. So if you wanted to play that, again, this is where some good app guaranteed. So there's this particular application that accepts these cracked APKs, also tests them for stuff. So, I mean, totally caveat emptor, like you might screw yourself over. I wouldn't really recommend having any valuable information stored on the GPD XD if you were going to be using any of these applications. So it's such a weird showbox. I didn't even take a look at this yet. This is like just a bunch of pirated movies, trailers, just a giant advertisement in my face. What do we got here? Movies. What kind of movies do we have? Is Wonder Woman on here? Oh, Despicable Me 3. Wow. So stop it. Let's click watch now. This is insane. So I guess if you just want to stream whatever movie you want as well, it will go out and fetch it. This is kind of like the Kodi application of Exodus or Covenant. This is silly.
Wait, what? It's true? You never told me I had a brother, and you told me that dad died of disappointment when I was...
Oh, this is insane. So, yeah, so basically, the GPD is a pirate's delight. Game Center, what is Game Center? Is this another way to download a bunch of games? Yep, cool, looks like that. Yeah, framed, okay. Let's see, I just opened this up. I haven't made an account. Let's go ahead and download it. Let's press the home button and have that download in the background. Let's see if the notification tray works. Yeah, you can see game is downloading. Cool. Drastic. This has a license file, and that's crashing when I open it. Normally this is $5. It was initially $8. Now it's $5 on the Google Play Store. I still recommend buying the Drastic emulator. Exophase did an excellent job making the emulator. This is another curious part down here, where you have download, and I guess there's downloads that show up here. Oh, good. Look, a pay-for game I'm not paying for and just installing. This basically is a turnkey solution for piracy. For people that don't know how to get apps, cool. It's framed. It's actually a pretty good game. So that's unfortunate that you can just kind of pirate whatever you wish. I'm saying that because I think you should be paying for the Android apps. Old ROMs that are impossible for people to make money on them, I care less about, and more about a preservation type of thing. But there are, for these particular things, these applications, like, should totally be paying for these. I have paid for these. So this is more just a demo showing you what you can do on the GPD XD right out of the box. The system update, there is no system update. It kind of just fails out when I go here. So I think it's at the latest version. Again, right here. So I put an N64 ROM here, and it says to put ROMs in this directory, which I did. You can see right here it's saying flash. If we go to, if I do flash, and then you can do TF card here. TF card being your micro SD if you had it there. So if we go up and we go down to File Explorer, I go back, not that far back. We'll go games, and then you can see N64, and then I put the GoldenEye ROM there, and that's an N64 ROM. I was assuming that if I just put ROMs there, that this Metro interface would just kind of had whatever N64 emulator preloaded, because there are BIOS files scattered throughout this device automatically. There's very little user intervention or what the user needs to do to actually get an emulator running. You can just kind of just select a game and start running. So unfortunately, there are no instructions in here how this is supposed to work, and just putting the ROM right here is not working at all. There is a little instructional video when you start up the GPD XD. Let's see if we can. They still have a video guide. This is how to set key associations for Nintendo DS games. Oh. Oh, that's just changing the launcher. So Happy Chick fails for me, so I'm not really caring about that. I mean, for a large part, normally when I deal with emulators and ROMs, I get all that stuff myself. I don't use these middlemen utilities. But if you're the type of person that wouldn't even know where to begin to get a ROM, this is a super interesting solution in terms of turnkey piracy. Even this thing is cool. This Newgrounds, China's Newgrounds thing. I really dig this because I don't really have any access otherwise to get to these types of games. So this is really cool in and of itself. But it has been educational looking through all these other applications that very quickly download and pirate stuff. It's actually really kind of silly. So that's it. The touchscreen works. The controls are actually really good, even though my poor performance while looking through my viewfinder on my camera and moving here. It's obviously it's not the best D-pad in the world, but it is serviceable. It is actually quite decent. So I do want to stress that I actually do have a decent enough time with this D-pad. The analog sticks themselves are also very good. Overall, like I really like the device. Oh wait, you know what? The one last thing I gotta show you guys. We can go to. We'll just go straight here, and we will load up. Oh, good. All right, so you can see this Mega Man game, and we'll go ahead and close it. Sound stops. Open it up. Left off right where you are, and this will give you excellent battery life just by putting it to sleep like that. It'll work just fine. So overall, if you are looking at just from an emulation standpoint, if you want a very easy turnkey solution for emulation and ROMs, the XD is great. If you want a turnkey solution for piracy, the XD is great. There are other handhelds that I feel are better as emulation machines, especially like a PS Vita with 3.6. If you have Henkaku, I don't know how to pronounce it. There is whatever the exploit is for 3.6 for the PS Vita. I prefer that as a retro games machine. But if you are looking for something that is dirt simple, that doesn't require you to know how to get ROMs, you can just kind of go to an interface and download things. This is amazing. Honestly, it's amazing. I'm curious to see how GPD follows us up with the XD2. Yeah, that's it. That's my review of the XD. Out of the box. I plan on doing some other videos of it, with regard to perhaps updating the ROM if there's some ROMs available. I think there are on the Dingunity forums. So that's it. I am a big fan of the XDA. Right now, it's going for 140 at GearBest. So I think you can easily get it for 140 a lot of the times. Thanks so much for watching.